Thanks for joining us once again. His Excellency President Barrow was among 2 million Muslims from around the world who performed this year's Hajj in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. The President and delegation performed the last of the 3 Jamrat at Mina before leaving for the last tawaf around the Kaaba in Mecca. Mamadou Jallo tells us more.
Rest in Iran, which symbolizes a state of purity and peace amongst Muslims. The pilgrims arrived in the holy city of Mecca for the usual circumambulation of the Kaaba. As prescribed, the delegation drove to Mina some few kilometers outside Mecca, where they spent the night in preparation for Arafah, the most important day of the Hajj. The President and delegation joined millions of other Muslims from around the world, standing together in supplication and devotion, praying for God's forgiveness. It was from this side that the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, gave his famous farewell sermon in the final year of his life. After spending the whole day at Arafah, the delegation drove to Muzdalifah in the evening to pray and pick stones in preparation for the ritual of the symbolic pelting of the devil in Mina. President Barrow and the other pilgrims will return here for the next 2 days to complete the ritual in line with Hajj requirements. Meanwhile, the President, accompanied by the Chief Justice and Cabinet Ministers, was suddenly invited to lunch hosted by the Saudi monarch, His Highness King Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdul Aziz at the royal tent in Mina. This is a rare honor reserved for visiting heads of state and governments. Then on Sunday, the delegation completed the Hajj by performing Tawaful Wida or farewell Tawaf before leaving for Jeddah. Earlier, President Barrow had met the Amirul Hajj, Dr. Usman Jah, who briefed the Gambian leader on the state of affairs of Gambian pilgrims in Saudi Arabia. Dr. Jah and his Hajj Commission have come under the spotlight for their handling of the accommodation, feeding and logistics of Gambian pilgrims. In Mina, we encountered some accommodation problems. This is because the Hajj continues to evolve. Now in Mina, those responsible for accommodation know the exact number of people coming, and therefore they only cater for the exact number of beds. President Barrow commended the Hajj Commission for doing their best under the prevailing circumstances to enhance a hit-free Hajj for the hundreds of pilgrims who annually travel to the Holy Kingdom. He also urged them to work hard to improve conditions, as this is the ultimate aim of his government. It places the interests and welfare of Gambians above all other considerations. We continue to enjoin the people to understand nothing can be organized to perfection. If the problems are related to organization, then, as the head of state, I seek forgiveness from all of you. The President and delegation are expected to leave Jeddah for Banjul later Tuesday evening. Mamadou Jallo, GRTS.
Top banking officials have reappeared at the Commission of Inquiry, probing former President Yahya Jammeh's assets. The bank officials were summoned to shed more light on the various accounts deposited in their respective banks. Teneng Jite tells us more.
During the sitting of the Commission of Inquiry into the financial dealings of former President Jammeh, saw another round of evidence and sworn testimony been given by officials of Guaranty Trust Bank, Trust Bank Gambia Limited, Sky Bank and Access Bank, the Gambia. Signatories to the various accounts ranging from Dallas accounts, dollar accounts and even euro accounts involved several former and even current serving government officials, some of whom had already testified before this very same commission. The commission also admitted in evidence in the form of statements of accounts and financial transfer requests from the Office of the President, some reportedly signed by former President Jammeh himself, making himself a signatory to the account, involving monies adding up to millions of dollars in the dollar accounts under the name Gambia National Petroleum Company, GNPC.
We have a letter advising us to change signatories. So
where did the letter emanate from?
The letter was from Gambia National Petroleum.
Okay.
Then.
Signed by who?
Signed by the former MD, Mohamed O.S. Baji, the managing director, and also Madam Sanyang, the finance manager.
And it says the signatories to change to?
Yes, signatories to change to State Professor and Dr. Yahya A.J.J. Jammeh and Mohamed Sabali.
Ibrahim Sala, MD of Trust Bank Gambia Limited, also testified regarding the existence of both the last year accounts and dollar accounts under the GNPC name, summing up to 5 separate accounts, 2 Gambian Dalasi and 3 US dollar accounts.
We have listed 4 accounts. When we checked, we saw a 5th one, which is not included in your list, so it's in total 5. From the list on the summons is 1 Gambian Dalasi denominated account and 3 United States dollar accounts. The 5th one that we saw that's not on your list is also a Gambian Dalasi account.
The MD of Sky Bank, Doyen Adek Bologba, also came forward to submit supporting documents of accounts opened with Sky Bank and transactions made under the said accounts, including a $2 million US withdrawal authorized and signed by former President Jammeh himself and former Secretary General and Minister for Presidential Affairs, Mr. Mohamed Sabali.
On the 14th of August 2013, we received an instruction for the withdrawal of $2 million signed by Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya A.J. Jammeh and Mohamed Sabali, Minister of Presidential Affairs and Secretary General and Head of Civil Service.
That is not all, because GNPC has other 4 accounts with Access Bank, 2 Gambian Dalasi accounts and 2 US dollar accounts.
The balance was $321,817.84
Dollars.
Dollars.
Can you repeat it?
321,817.84. That was the last balance before the 13th of August when we were instructed to change the signatures.
Former President Jammeh and a handful of his former Secretary Generals and certain ministers were over a period of time and at different times the only signatories to several dollar accounts registered on the GNPC. The monies that pass through these accounts amount to several million US dollars. This begs the question, how much revenue does GNPC make for the country and how much of that revenue remains unaccounted for? Reporting for GRTS News, I am Tenenjite.
220 bags of rice were over the weekend donated to the victims of the recent floods in Kuntawood. The donation was made by the leader of the Gambia Democratic Congress, Mama Kande. Famara Kanyi tells us more.
Kande in the heart of Kuntawood. At a time the people of this community are recovering from the effects of recent floods, which washed away much of the settlement structures. Tens of people made their way to the square, some on motorbikes, while so many others from surrounding villages. They had to trek kilometers to witness his arrival. A few weeks ago, Kuntawood experienced one of its most fatal floods in the history of the village. The rare occurrence had left many compounds in poor state, and some families were left stranded in the mud. Ordinary people had to manage with the risky conditions, with limited hopes of a possible assistance. Mama Kande's visit to the area was meant to provide assistance to the people of the village. The donation of 220 bags of rice to the villages of Kuntawood and satellite settlements is the biggest assistance and the opening of new opportunities for more to come in.
As a Gambian, I think this is affecting almost every Gambian. It's a time that these people are in need, and I believe if I can contribute anything to try and solve their problems,
I will do so. It will not be enough for their problems to be solved, but I will always want to contribute my quota, be it here or any other part of the country.
The GDC leader toured the village and met some families. In an interview, Mama Kande said his mission is non-political.
We are all talking about the same country. I mean, we all want to see the Gambia develop. So my belief is that we should put our hands on deck together and move this country forward. In the event that we all have our ideas, aims and objectives, we have our visions and missions all towards the development of this country.
The National Assembly member for Nyani described Mama Kande as a patriot.
Mama Kande has brought his quota so that the victims can have benefit from these rice. And actually they are in need of these rice because all of their rice, their foodstuffs have been all spoiled. So for that case, we thank Mama Kande. We are not here for politics, but we are here to see the victims at least they have something to eat.
The aid is timely, and the impact will be felt in the village. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Humanitarian.
The government has expressed sympathy with flood victims countrywide. A news release from the Vice Presidency reaffirmed the government's commitment to provide humanitarian assistance to the affected communities. The National Disaster Management Agency has conducted a rapid assessment of the affected communities, which revealed over 8,000 people affected, included 5 deaths. Material, internal displacement of several communities, damaged public and private properties, including bridge, as well as submerged farmlands. It has also identified the need for urgent humanitarian support, including food and non-food items, and possibly preventive medical supplies as possible outbreak post-flood-borne diseases. The government has since mobilized some support and will continue to explore increased support from local partners in order to adequately respond to the plight of affected communities. The European Union has contributed more than €4 million to the United Nations World Food Programme's efforts to offer quality food to Gambia's children and reduce economic pressures on Gambian families. A press release from the World Food Programme said the money will allow it to provide school meals based on local rice, maize, millet, beans, locust beans, groundnut, and green leafy vegetables to 64,000 children in North Bank and Central River region, where most of the country's hungry households are concentrated. It will also help generate and publish more accurate early warning system, information on food security and nutrition. The project is part of the EU strategic support to the Gambia known as Agriculture for Economic Growth and Food Security, Nutrition to Mitigate Migration. More than 1,500 families in Kiang, Lower River region benefited from direct aid annual support on Eid al-Adha. The support by the Kuwait-based organization, as Charitable reports, is meant to extend solidarity to needy Muslims in the country.
Direct Aid gave out bulls to 9 villages in the Kiangs, with their officials despite to witness the slaughtering and smooth distribution of the meat to different families. Direct Aid Center Manager Abdul Baki and Jai Ul Talib assured the people of the organization's continuous support.
Last year we was in Darasuma, but this year we pushed to Kian, and we are today with our brothers. And to help them in this tabaski, we have around 4 to 5 teams to give this meat to our brothers here and to help around 1,500 families.
The beneficiaries were appreciative of the move and call for further collaboration from Direct Aid.
It is a very good initiative for the group because we are not expecting this. So we are also appealing to the project to feel they can help us a lot because here is a very poor village and then we are needy, there are needy people here.
The communication officer Direct Aid, Ansumana Kinte, revealed that similar activities were conducted in their centers in Brufut, Banjulunding, Farafenye and Tubakuta.
From January
to the last village in Sankandi. In total, the African Muslim Agency Direct Aid Society, the Gambia office, have supported Muslims with 112 bulls. 46 of that 112 bulls were given out as a support to the people of this great region, Kia. Each of our 4 centers also have been given some bulls to support communities surrounding them, courtesy of Direct Aid Society Kuwaiti office.
The day-long exercise that ended in Bateling, where the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Mamadou Lamine Sani, and the Governor of Bang Region, Ibrahim Adamfa, who both hail from Bateling, saluted Direct Aid for the numerous humanitarian ventures they undertake in the country.
The Muslim Aid team happened to find me here with their magnanimous gesture for the Muslim Ummah in Bateling. By way of their generosity has been manifested over the years in all the villages in the Gambia.
Damfa expressed optimism that his region will benefit from more support and Bateling as well. Khadijatu Diallo, GRTS News.
Meanwhile, 500 needy Muslims were presented with Tobaski rams on the eve of the feast. The presentation was facilitated by a renowned Islamic scholar in collaboration with a Saudi-based philanthropist organization. Kanjatu Juwara tells us more.
There was no shortage of rams in the countdown to the feast of Tobaski. Ram dealers and buyers traded even along busy highways. In various Muslim nations, rams were sold at every strategic location. In the Gambia, the rams were available, but the cost on the side of average Gambian buyer was relatively high. For many years, organizations and institutions target the feast of Tobaski to present gifts to Muslims who could not bear the cost of a ram. Abuko, which is the main livestock market in the Gambia, was the scene of last-minute sales and bargaining as the Tobaski was getting closer. People who could not afford the sacrificial ram waited in patience for a kind donor. Aliu Cham has been working hand in hand with an Islamic organization in Saudi Arabia, and over the years, his institution has been presenting sacrificial rams to Muslims free of charge. Some of the beneficiaries who spoke to GRTS expressed joy over the gift. They thanked Cham for giving them rams. In an interview with GRTS, Aliu Cham said since they established relations with their Saudi counterparts, they have been humbly presenting rams free of charge to needy Muslims.
This is an yearly donation for the needy Muslims. Hundreds of rams were shared to needy Muslims for the Tobaski.
Even though the cost of ram was beyond the reach of many Gambians, generous local and international institutions were at hand to help the needy Muslims. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Khadijatu Juwara.
President Xi Jinping of China has said that BRICS is not a talking shop, but a task force that gets things done. President Xi Jinping made those remarks at the business forum of the BRICS summit on Sunday. Rahibite is in Jiming City of China's Fujian province, attending the BRICS summit, and she now reports.
It's the second decade of BRICS cooperation. The 9th BRICS summit, hosted by China's Xiamen City in the Fujian province, is held on the theme BRICS, Stronger Partnership for a Brighter Future. The summit, which officially opened on Monday, has been deliberating on issues pertinent to the development of the 5 BRICS countries and global economy. The business forum that was held on Sunday focuses on means of improving the economic growth, promotes win-win cooperation and the development of emerging markets and developing countries. The past decade has seen BRICS countries making headway in pursuing common development, but on the other hand, recognizes challenges facing the world.
The global economy has resumed growth, with emerging market and developing countries delivering a strong performance. A new round of technological and industrial revolution is in the making, and reform and innovation are gaining momentum. We have enough reason to believe that our world will be a better place. On the other hand, more than 700 million people are still living in hunger. Tens of millions of people are displaced and become refugees. So many people, including innocent children, are killed in conflicts.
President Xi further went on to say that BRICS is not a talking shop, but a task force that gets things done. He said their goal is to build a big market of trade and investment, promote smooth flow of currency and finance, improve connectivity of infrastructure, build close bonds between the people. In pursuing this goal, however, the 5 countries, he said, need to be engaged in practical cooperation across the board, covering several dozen areas, including economy, trade, finance, science, technology, education, culture, health, thus giving concrete expression to the endeavor of building a new type of international relations featuring win-win cooperation.
We should take an inclusive approach and share opportunities together so as to create even brighter prospects for growing economies of the 5 countries. The development of the emerging market and developing countries is not intended to move the cheese of anyone, but to make the pie of the global economy bigger.
There, President Zuma of South Africa outlined that despite the recent challenges, Africa's household consumption and business spending are both growing strongly, which, according to McKinsey report, Africa's manufacturing sector today does not compare favorably with those of other emerging economies, facts he conceded had to ignore. He called on other partners to visit South Africa as it prepares to host the 10th BRICS Summit in 2018. Several issues are expected to be tabled at the Xiamen BRICS Summit, where a deliberation is expected to be made on the achievement made and the shared vision for future development of BRICS. Rohi Bisei, reporting for GRTS News from Xiamen City, Fujian Province, China.
We take our first break now. Stay with us. Welcome back, and over now to sports. The Gambia's under-23 team are on their way to Ghana for the WAFU football tournament. The 18-man squad with officials left Banjul International Airport an hour ago. MS Diallo caught up with the team shortly before boarding their plane. From there he reports.
The 23 team, which also doubles as the WAFU team, has left Banjul for Accra, Ghana, where they will take part in the WAFU football tournament. The Gambia will be among 16 West African countries that will take part in the tournament. 18 players, most of whom are local based, with a few who are playing outside of the Gambia in the Senegalese league. And he is optimistic that his lads will put up a brave fight in Ghana.
We want the Gambian public to pray for us and to give us all their heart, be patient with us. Our objective is to go there and to represent Gambia and to bring something for Gambia that is positive for our country. May God guide us.
The Gambia has a very difficult opponent game against the host, Ghana. But Coach Omar Cisse and his players are unfazed by the prospect of playing the host in the opponent game. And they are ready to fight into the group stages.
Ghana is a team very well respected in Africa. They beat our senior team 2-1, the same team we're going to play. But for me, it's 11-on-11. It's the game day. What matters is the first 10 minutes for us to read our game and know what is going to happen. We pretty much sure that we're going to bring something for the Gambians, inshallah.
What is your objective going into this tournament?
To win Ghana and go to the group stage and win the trophy, bring it to the Gambia, inshallah.
The game is not going to be very easy for us because, as you can see, Ghana is the host nation, but we have prepared mentally and physically to face whatever we'll meet in Ghana.
16 West African countries including some of the big ones in African football, the likes of Nigeria, Ghana, and Senegal, will be competing in the sub-regional football tournament, which is organized by WAFU and sponsored by Fox Sports. What sort of a tournament are you expecting in Ghana?
Please expect a firebrand occasion. It is not going to be an easy tournament. It's going to be very tough because we are seeing the bastion of African football in West Africa play each other. Nigeria, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, and so on and so forth. And they'll be meeting each other when they're lucky or unlucky, because that's what fixtures are all about. But I can assure you it's going to be glamorous, it's going to be a fantastic program, and I'm sure you will enjoy it.
The 16 teams will first play a preliminary round with the 8 winners progressing to the group stages, where they will be divided into 2 groups of 4. Mohamed Jallo, GRTS Sports, at the Barrow International Airport.
We will take our second break now.